This is Barnstable Today for Tuesday, March 3rd. Welcome aboard. I'm Mark Mumford. And please keep in mind that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
Anticipated traffic flow around a proposed new terminal at Barnstable Municipal Airport is our lead story. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Friel.
Site plan review has been updated on the logistics by Mark Nelson of the Horsley Witten Group.
The existing terminal is just up to the right of where the proposed terminal is, with the goal here that we can keep the terminal in operation while we build the new one. It's moving a little bit closer to the road and to the rotary, and the primary reason for that is to avoid aviation surfaces, the FAA surfaces around the runways and the taxiways. The terminal is, square footage I believe is about 35,000 square feet in area, so it's slightly bigger than the terminal that's there now. It originally was considered to be a little bit bigger than that, and it's been toned down from some of the financing issues and the design issues that we've been working through over the course of the past year. There's a fair bit of redesign of the parking facilities and the entrances to the airport that are included here. The primary change is that the entrance off the rotary will be closed, and there are significant traffic benefits that come from that to reduce some of the stress on the airport rotary. The entrance where the TD Bank North building is going to be closed and then moved back quite a ways from the rotary, as far as we can get it without impinging on the runway surfaces, and designing that to the maximum extent possible to make that a right entrance only. We're going to have that as acute an angle as we can, such that a left turn from 28 coming in there is going to be fairly difficult to do. And that'll work well with some of the plans down the line, with the town looking at the potential for a median running down Route 28 in that area, which would totally cut off a left-hand turn coming in there. But we've moved this back, and again, to try to alleviate pressure on the rotary. And then the existing Barnstable Road will be extended down past the Cape Air hangar, up along where Blackburn's junkyard used to be. That's now been purchased by the airport, and will connect to Airport Road just past where the entrance to Blackburn's junkyard is. At that point, there'll be a light installed at the intersection between Airport Road and Addicks Lane, and that'll allow people either coming to the airport from Route 6 and 132 or heading in that direction to get to the airport off Addicks Lane and taking them off of 132, basically down by the Hyannis Golf Course, and getting them off 132 at that point, and allow them to come in this direction here.
Mark Nelson told the members of the Site Plan Review Committee that he and his associates at the Horsley Witten Group will contemplate the latest input from Site Plan Review.
Meanwhile, the issue of building any new piers in town is a hot topic for several town boards and committees, including Coastal Resources.
At their latest session, Coastal Resources staffer Tom Lavin quantified the pier picture.
Just I have some more information to report to you guys in reference to pier build-outs and historical testing and posting stuff online. So first, in reference to the pier build-outs, currently what I've done is I've gone through all 3 bays except for West Bay. So there's 325 waterfront parcels within Katuitt Bay, North Bay, Prince Cove, Warrens Cove, and the Seaput River, and they're embayments. So 325 parcels. Of the 325 parcels, there are currently 191 with piers. And piers I used here generically to describe everything, for land access, Chapter 91 docking structures. So just kind of generically using that there, excluding bulkheads. And this equates to the 191 of the 325 equates to about 60% of the waterfront parcels having piers. So now that's hypothetical because it doesn't have any exclusions yet, mainly being open spaces that are protected and the Katuitt No Dock overlay. So the next one, caveat here, is the Katuitt No Dock overlay. 63 parcels, 13 of which already have docks. Therefore, that leaves 50 parcels that are currently prohibited from having Chapter 91, applications. So that leaves us with approximately 26% of the waterfront parcels within that area that I described to you, excluding West Bay, do not have and could apply for a pier. Again, I mean, that doesn't include parcels that have already applied for piers. They didn't get a permit, they didn't have a recorded date. That doesn't include parcels, again, that are protected. and that doesn't include like town beaches. So you probably wouldn't see a town beach having a dock go out there.
So,
Sure.
Are you, quick math, you're saying about maximum of 84 possible parcels that could have a dock on them, assuming no other restrictions out there? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, that's like really preliminary, but yeah, I mean, it's the math off the top of my head, I don't have that off the top of my head, but it is, yeah, I mean, it's...
I just did it, but...
Yeah, but that's what it is. That's right now, and I mean, a lot of the parcels that didn't have piers, again, were in the Katuitt No Dock overlay, so...
Well, I'm just taking the 50 off that, and then I'm assuming there's going to be some parcels that couldn't have it anyway. So,
Right.
But
Right.
even if you don't assume that, your numbers would indicate about 84. I know that doesn't include West Bay. Is it? Does not yet. Okay.
The pier permitting issue continues to generate plenty of conversation at the Conservation Commission and in front of the Shellfish Committee.
Meanwhile, the licensing authority wants to speak with restaurant owners who have not been staying open as much as they agreed to.
At their latest meeting, Officer Marr, liaison to the licensing board from the Barnstable Police Department, noted that several restaurants have been closed recently when they should have been open for business.
A heavily regulated industry. A lot of that happens through the police department, through my office. We just want to be consistent in how we apply this. I really don't want to treat one person one way and another person another way. So when circumstances come up where we want to look into it, we don't want to jump right on somebody, particularly in economic times like this, give them a chance to respond. Maybe somebody forgot something. However, when there is no response, I think that the town needs to take an action. And if that action is going to be that we're going to write them a letter, that's fine. And if they respond to that correctly, and the board is satisfied, that's fine. But that's just the approach. And we have to put everybody on notice.
Officer Mayor?
Just so the board's aware, these four may be part of it, but I can think of at least 4 or 5 other restaurants that aren't even close to their regular operating hours right now. So just be aware of the fact that...
Well, we have a choice. We could write them letters, or we could have them all come before us. Commissioner Sullivan?
Yes, I'd like to answer that. Is that Mr. Geiler has a lot of regulations to enforce, and it seems like, from what I hear, things are getting a little bit out of hand in terms of folks complying with the regulations, and I think I've heard of 3 or 4 here, and potentially more, but I believe that they ought to be called before the board to explain why they're doing what they're doing, and it's not in compliance, and I think the word will get out and it'll stop, and it'll make his job a little bit easier and better. And to write letters that would continue. I think we ought to have a hearing. Let them come before us and tell us why, and then we can make some decisions. And I think you're conveying a more serious intent to make sure they do what they're supposed to do.
The licensing authority emphasized that their communications with the restaurants in question will be more about offering information than pursuing punishment.
And just a reminder, you can find the licensing authority meetings on demand at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
On the meeting front this evening, it's a school committee budget hearing at 6 o'clock in the night auditorium at the high school. And then at 7, the Conservation Commission meets in the Town Hall hearing room. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kevin Friel.
We'll meet you right back here tomorrow. I'm Mark Mumford.